Alright, so here are the ingredients of the omelet which you asked me to do. Right over here we have the feta cheese, we have the onions which I've already diced up, we have garlic which I've already minced, and some spinach which I've already cut down a little bit. We also have 2 eggs, salt, pepper, a little bit of vegetable oil, and I don't know how or like what you've been doing at home to overcook your omelet or anything like that, but I am just going to show you like the proper way of how to cook it. And all the ingredients that you need to add and everything like that. So first things first, to cook a good omelet you need a good non-stick pan. I picked this up for about maybe like $10 at like Walmart a couple years ago, so they're really not that expensive. You want to use a non-stick pan though, just so the eggs don't stick on you. Again, I don't know what you've been doing to overcook your omelet or whatnot, but regardless, make sure you have a non-stick pan. Make sure you have a rubber spatula. If you have a heat-proof one, that's better. This one has seen some wear and tear, which I'm not really too proud of, but whatever. And that's about it. You have your eggs, you have your ingredients, you have everything ready. Egg cookery is really, really quick. Your eggs, if you really get good at it, should take you about maybe 30 seconds to a minute to cook, which you'll see later, but I am going to go at a slower pace just so you can keep up. Also, this is my day off, so I haven't shaven today, so that's probably why I'm not showing my face. Anyway, first things first, you want to preheat your pan. I have this preheating on kind of like a low heat, which is on number 2 right now. You do not want to throw anything into a cold pan, especially when you're cooking an omelet. So just for that reason, I've already started preheating it a little bit. You can put your hand on top just to see if it's warm enough. And then once it is, I'm going to turn this up to about maybe a 3 or so, which would be kind of like a medium-low if you're using that kind of knob. And from there, we can start. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of vegetable oil. Especially in a non-stick pan, you do not need a lot. Maybe about, I would say that's about 2 tablespoons. And then just kind of like move it around a little bit. This is when you know your pan is hot enough, when you start to see like the oil just kind of glisten and just like, start moving around the sides and not too much around the middle. That's like the perfect amount of heat, perfect amount of oil. And from there, I'm going to start with a little bit of onion. Alright, we can get this sauteing a little bit. Right. What you want to do is just kind of move the pan around a little bit, just make sure nothing burns. You do not want to get any kind of color on anything, otherwise, again, you will burn your omelet. Once you start to see that they start to get a little bit of translucent color in them, right, that's when you can move on to the next step, which is going to be the garlic. So from here, you're going to throw in just like a little bit of garlic. Right. Again, move it around a little bit. Make sure, especially at this point, you do not want the garlic to burn, which it will if you just don't pay attention to how you're cooking it exactly. At this point, you should really start to smell the garlic. You should start to smell the onions. Again, when the onions get really soft and translucent, that's when you should move on to the next step again. And in this case, it will be the spinach. So I'm going to take a couple of strands of the spinach. I'm taking a good handful. Spinach kind of wilts down a lot when you cook it, so from here, you're going to use a good handful of spinach. Right. And season it at this point with a little bit of salt and pepper. So, salt. And I'm doing this one-handed, so I'm gonna forget the pepper because I'm only doing this one-handed right now. So now that I have the salt in there, right, what you want to do is just kind of move the spinach around a little bit. Again, it will wilt down quickly, which you can already see, and kind of turn into like a very small ball very, very quickly. So at this point, take your eggs, season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Again, I'm not using the pepper because I'm only doing this one-handed. At this point, you want to add your eggs. Now I am going to turn the heat up to about a 4 or 5 on this one. From here, this is when it starts to get a little bit difficult, but as long as you're paying attention, it really just doesn't matter. What you want to do is just kind of move the ingredients around a little bit, just to make sure that they are all around your omelet. Right? And what you also want to do is, you're going to start to see like the eggs are going to start to cook around the side, especially on the bottom. Right? What you want to do is just kind of like move the eggs around into the middle a little bit. What this will do is not only help your omelet cook faster, but it'll also give you a much fluffier omelet at the end. you can see, like, the eggs are starting to cook in the middle, and again also on the sides, and again it'll just give you a very, very soft texture at the end. So as you can see, like, it's starting to get a little bit dry already. It's not so runny at the top, which is really just what you're looking for. Now at this point, if you are anal about it, what you can do is just kind of move it around into a circle. All right, and just kind of pry it away from the sides a little bit. And what you want to do is just kind of slide your spatula underneath it, and just make sure that it's all loosened on the bottom. All right, and so that's basically what you're looking for. And the reason why you're using a non-stick pan is because at this point, what you want to do is kind of shake the pan around a little bit, and your omelet should just move around freely around the pan. When it starts to move around freely with absolutely no resistance whatsoever, that's when you know the bottom is cooked. So again, one-handed, you do not have to do this. I'm not trying to show off or anything like that, but you can use two hands if you want. But again, at this point, you're going to flip your omelet. Now what you want to do, what you're looking for is just kind of like just a little bit of brown color on the side. And once you flip your omelet, it's only going to take maybe 15 seconds on the other side. So again, start to move it around a little bit, and you can see, like, nothing's sticking at this point. So at this point, it's pretty much done. So I'm going to flip it over. And you can see that nothing's running anymore, and there's no color on the side, and that's when you know your omelet is done. So at this point, I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to add the feta cheese into the middle, which I have to recommend, which I have to say, by the way, awesome preference on cheese. And then at this point, once you got the cheese in there, you're going to flip the omelet over. And that's, again, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed, so I'm going to put this down a little bit. I'm just going to slide it onto the plate and then flip it over onto itself. And there you go. There's your omelet.